What up, though? This is the man, Tony T, with another episode of Tony T Reports. On this episode, I want to talk about a news story about reparations. San Francisco is actually discussing giving reparations to its black citizens. $5 million is the number that they're talking about for each black citizen in San Francisco. Now, first off, mind you, it's only 6% black people in San Francisco. So it's a lot of money, but it ain't a lot of money, right? Secondly, $5 million, I think is a lowball estimate. I think that you would probably owe each individual person a little bit more. Do my calculations, you know what I mean? Because I'm a math genius. But yeah, I think you need to owe a little bit more. But anyway, $5 million per black citizen. I don't think they're gonna get it. Okay, now I would take the $5 million, even though I think it's a low ball number. I'm gonna take the money. Okay, if they offer me $5 million right now, y'all know me. I'm gone with the $5 million. We'll just call the rest even. You know what I mean? But I don't think they're gonna get that money. And then another thing, I think that is pretty much cities and states. I think they should do what they feel is right when it comes to reparations, because everybody played their part to a certain degree. But I think reparations really needs to fall on the federal government. It's the Fed, right? I think that we can get reparations. First thing we got to do is ask for it. Matter of fact, I know exactly how we can get reparations. Some of y'all gonna be upset with me, but that ain't never stopped me before. I don't even know y'all like that, to be honest with you, so it don't really matter to me. So the first thing we need to do to get reparations is we need to kick out all the people who say they'll never give us reparations. Kick them smooth out the room, okay? Because I don't know where y'all from. I'm from the south side of Chicago. We've had a saying here as long as I've been on this earth. A closed mouth don't get fed. Maybe you've heard it, but I live by that. So if you don't ask for something, how you expect to get it? No, you're not going to get it. When you went to ask your mama because you go outside and you know you had been messing up, you know she was going to say no, you still went and asked, right? You took that chance. Why? Because you really wanted to go outside. Even if you knew she was going to say no, you still had to take the chance to get outside. So you got to take a shot. So we kick all them people out the room, okay? Now we need to understand that we need to collectivize, okay? We need to come together and realize we are one people. And I don't mean all black people on earth. I mean all people involved in the North Atlantic slave trade, right? So you got all these islanders, these Caribbeaners, and you got all of us on the mainland who come from the same slave ships, okay? So we need to get together and say, hey, we're the same people. Doesn't matter we speak different languages. We are the same people. That way we swell the numbers up. You got to have numbers if you go into war, right? So you swell the numbers up. Then you start with the big boy, right? Because you're going to want reparations from everybody all across the world having to do with this. But you start with the big boys, right? So you go to the UN, you tell the UN, hey, the United States owed me some money, right? And then you proceed to lobby the United States. Now that you got your numbers swole, you proceed to lobby the United States for reparations. Now, here's where it's going to get sticky, right? I truly believe black Americans should get money for reparations, a dollar amount, right? I do believe that. But I also believe that's one of the things hindering us from getting reparations, right? Because you have the government who can constantly say, man, we don't have $5 million for every black citizen in the country. We don't have $11 million for every person of color in this, okay. So check this out. First off, we got to see who qualifies, okay? We got to see who qualifies. So, this is just my opinion. If you can trace your lineage on any side to slavery, you qualify, right? That means if one of your grandparents was a descendant of slavery, you qualify. So, if your ancestors weren't a descendant of slavery, you are in this country, you are black, and you do get discriminated against, but there's really no penance to be paid, right? You came here. We were brought here. That can be debated, but free labor is what we're getting paid for. So we need to acknowledge who qualifies. Once we do that, we go to the government. Hey, man, you know what? Y'all owe this little debt, and we need this little debt paid, right? Now, what the government is going to say, the same thing the government has always said. We don't have the money. We can't give you all these millions of dollars for all these black people around this. The same thing they've been saying, right? Okay, cool. So now, I do agree Black Americans need to get paid a dollar amount, but I also want to get reparations, and I understand how that hinders the progress, right, or the discussion for reparations. So, check this out. I know it's going to be a segment that don't disagree with me, want to string me up and all that, but this is my opinion. You got your opinion, I got mine. Fine then, since they'll never give us cash, and we can pretty much agree they'll never give us cash, although for some reason, they got all the cash in the world for Ukraine. They just spending this money up. You know what I mean? But that's another reports. So what we need to do is we say, okay, cool. You don't have the cash. I understand. Well, you know what? We want a couple other things that we'll accept instead of the money. Okay. First thing we're going to need is free education. Like the Native Americans have. Free education. Period. For life. Any school you want to go to. You want to go to school for 50 years? Go to school for 50 years. It's paid for. If you fail, you want to go back and get it right? It's paid for. Go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? So just with that, everybody's not going to run and go to school. We all know this. But the people who do go to school within one generation will have changed the trajectory of their family on this earth. One generation, right? So we get free education. 2, okay, you're not going to give us no money, but you did get free labor, right? So you owe. I think we all can agree that you owe. And what you saying is you ain't got the money, right? Cool. How about you just exempt us from federal income tax? Sound good to me, because it seemed like I'm getting taxed twice. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem fair that you got the free labor out of my people, and then when I get here and contribute to this society that don't want me here, you taking my tax money. You know what I mean? So if people actually was to be able to benefit and keep that tax money, dude, you know how much wealth will be kept in the black community after that? Like a lot. Like, I haven't done the math because we all know I'm a math genius. So if I did it, I would have exact numbers. But I ain't do the math. But a lot, bro. Like, a lot of black wealth will be built in one generation from free education and being exempt from federal income tax. Now, state tax, I think you got to pay state tax. That's just me. I think you got to pay state tax because you live there, right? You want your garbage taken and you want your streets fixed and all that. So you got to pitch in, right? Like, come on, man, And as far as them giving us land, they ain't going to give us no land. They ain't got land to give us. You know what I mean? They ain't going to give us no land. Now, when it comes to all the people who say they'll never give us reparation, we don't need reparation. Them niggas ain't going to do nothing but give the money right back to the white man in a month, in 2 weeks. All that money going to be gone. That could be true. I can't call you a liar exactly for having that opinion, but I do have a scenario, and I want you to follow me down this road, okay? Say you're young and you just get out there in life, right? You get your little apartment, you got your little girlfriend, maybe a child or something, and life hits you hard. You didn't know some things came up, some unexpected bills and all this, that, and the third. You $300 short on your rent, okay? You sitting there sulking at your mama house like, oh my God, I'm $300 short on the rent. I don't know what I'm going to do. Oh my God, my woman going to leave me. What I'm going to do, right? Your uncle sees you going through this. Now, this check day, and your uncle just happened to be a crackhead. And he say, nephew, what's wrong with you? You tell him, man, I'm short $300. My girl gonna leave me, man. She gonna take the baby and leave. I need $300. I ain't gonna have no place to stay. Okay. He say, you know what, nephew? I just got my little check. You know I ain't gonna do nothing but get high with it. Here, go on take this $300, man. Go on take the $300. Pay me back when you can, right? Okay. Your crackhead uncle just gave you $300. Now, when you're able to pay him back, you know you owe him $300, right? You remember crying, wondering what was going to happen, where you was going to live when he gave you the money. Now, you also know when you give your uncle this $300 back, what he's going to do with the money. He going to smoke it up. He a crackhead. That's what they do, right? You're not going to give him his money back? Now, you know you owe him. You know once you give him what you know you owe him, he's not going to do right with the money. But that's still his money though, right? You still owe that man. So you going to pay that man regardless what he going to do with it. So when it come to people saying, black people going to get the cash back, well, that's black people business if they give the cash back. If he want to build a house full of Nikes, that is that man prerogative, okay? He can do what he want with the money. But I think it's a hard sell trying to get money out of this government. You know what I mean? Like, unless you white and at war with other white people, I don't see them really opening the books up and lending us a budget. You know what I mean? But I think we can get reparations. And I think in these little minutes that I just fixed it. So now let's go do that, okay? Let's go get this bread because it is old. All right? Now, with that being said, I'm Tony T. This has been Tony T Reports. You do what you feel.